So, welcome back to all of you. In this topic, let us try to gain an understanding of the structural components of an ecosystem. Learning outcomes. So, we will understand what are the abiotic and biotic components of the ecosystem. So, there are two basic components, abiotic and biotic. Basically, the ecosystem comprises of the living beings as well as the non-living material. These two are known as the biotic and abiotic components of the ecosystem. The abiotic component is differentiated into inorganic materials, organic compounds, and climatic factors. Inorganic materials, these are simpler materials which are built up to form the complex compounds that make up the body of living organisms. Now these elements, they are simple inorganic compounds that are found at or near the surface of the earth and are essential for life, and that is why they are sometimes also called biogenic substances or nutrients. Two types of nutrients are generally distinguished: macronutrients, which are found in large quantities as well as required in large quantities, such as carbon, hydrogen, phosphorus, calcium, and micronutrients, which are required in small quantities by the living organisms and also found in small quantities in the environment. And these include a number of metal ions such as iron, manganese, magnesium, zinc, cobalt, etc. Organic compounds in an ecosystem, they occur either in the dissolved as well as in the particulate form. Now they basically comprise of what? Proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Now these are synthesized by the living organisms in an ecosystem, passed into the body of other living organisms through feeding, and then returned to the ecosystem as wastes, dead remains, etc. Now these, in the simplest form, as well as other complex compounds, make up the organic component of the abiotic compartment of the ecosystem. The third abiotic component are the climatic factors. Now these include temperature, light, humidity, and other physical factors that delimit the condition for existence of the organisms. That is, all organisms have got a tolerance limit or limit of tolerance for each of these climatic factors. On land, the main factors are what? Temperature, rainfall, humidity, as well as the chemical nature of soil and underlying geological stratum. These are the main abiotic features. In aquatic ecosystems, again, temperature, salinity, related chemical attributes of the body of water, that is, what are the chemical constituents, and the nature of the sediments or the soil which is beneath there, they form the major abiotic components. Biotic component, the living organisms together comprise the biotic component of an ecosystem. They are differentiated into producers, consumers, and decomposers. Producer organisms which are capable of synthesizing their own food from non-living and simple inorganic compounds are called producers or autotrophs. Now there are two types basically, photoautotroph and chemoautotroph. Photoautotroph, basically they use the sunlight, right, and they include the green plants, some protists such as euglena, certain bacteria, and green sulfur bacteria. They possess a green pigment which is known as chlorophyll, with the help of which they are able to synthesize simple and organic compounds with the utilization of abiotic factors like carbon dioxide, water, and minerals in the presence of sunlight. The process is called photosynthesis and is represented by the famous equation 6CO2 plus 6H2O is equal to C6H12O6, that is glucose, and 6 molecules of oxygen. Chemoautotrophs. Some bacteria, such as colorless sulfur bacteria, nitrifying bacteria, etc., capture energy released during some inorganic chemical reactions and prepare organic food with itself. They are known as chemoautotroph, and the process is known as chemosynthesis. Consumers. They are organisms which eat other organisms. They are also called as heterotrophs. That is, what it means is that they are dependent on other organisms for food. They are also called phagotrophs. That is, they eat or ingest food via mouth. The consumers are divided into the following types. Primary consumers or consumers of the first order. They are organisms which eat the producers. They are also called herbivores. Example, mithun, deer, insects, etc. Secondary consumers, consumers of the second order, they kill and eat herbivores and are called carnivores, that is fox, spider, lizard. Tertiary consumers, they are consumers of the third order. They comprise the organisms which eat and live upon secondary consumers. Example, a snake eats a frog, a bird eats a fish, and so on. Quaternary or top consumers, they are carnivores of an ecosystem which are not killed and eaten by other animals like lions, tigers, vultures, etc. Decomposers. Decomposers are nature's recyclers as they break down organic matter found in dead bodies of plants and animals and their waste products. They are composed of build-up organisms, example bacteria, fungi, crabs, that process the organic constituents and release carbon and other nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus. They are waste managers of an ecosystem. These organisms are defined by the function of taking dead producers, dead consumers, or even scavengers, and even other dead decomposers and breaking their organic compounds into simple nutrients. These simple nutrients are returned to the soil and can be used again by the plants. This makes the role of decomposer extremely important in an ecosystem. Without them, organic matter would pile up on the ground and plants would not receive the required nutrients necessary for their survival. Thank you so much. You may mail your feedback at ras.moneydeep@gmail.com.